Taylor against Chantelle Cameron, the rematch. It's taking place in Dublin today. This is the first time doing a live stream like this. I wanted to try it because I've seen a bunch of other people doing it, obviously. I wanted to give it a go because it seems fun. This is my first time, so there's probably going to be a few technical glitches here and there, I'm sure. So please just bear with me. In fact, I almost guarantee there's going to be some technical glitches, especially going through the whole card here, because I'm going to be doing this one, but then also a separate live stream for the big fight this evening, David Benavidez against Demetrius Andrade, which is going to be a super exciting one in my books, one of the fights of the year, I think. So I've got my stream going on here. Let's see where we are. So it's Donovan against Ball. We're in the 4th round. On my screen, there's 22 seconds left in the round. And it looks like, yeah, the towel's just been thrown in. So Patty Donovan has just won this fight. I don't know what kind of streams you guys will be watching to actually watch these fights. So let me know if you can't actually see, or rather you might be at a different time than me is what I'm getting at basically. So essentially you might be seeing things either before or after I do. So apologies if I'm spoiling something that hasn't actually happened on your feed yet, if mine's ahead of yours, or you guys might be seeing something before I do. So yeah, Patty Donovan wins this one in the 4th round. I've actually just joined the card now at this point at 4 o'clock. So I've seen a couple of the results. I know that Skye Nicholson beat Lucy Wildheart. That was a TKO in the 9th round. There's a bunch of other fights on the card, which I haven't caught up with yet, but where are we, guys? How many fights are we from the main event? So as far as I can tell, I think we should be 1 or 2 fights away from Chantelle Cameron against Katie Taylor at this point. Who's going to win that one? I mean, it's an interesting fight because the first one was very close on the scorecards. But I have to be honest and say I thought Chantelle Cameron looked a lot better in the ring, is my opinion, in that first fight. I'm not saying it wasn't close, but to me, Chantelle Cameron's a favorite here for sure. I think that Katie Taylor, she looked good, but I thought Chantelle Cameron rather looked a lot better, to be honest with you. She's very, very quick. She's just a very, very good boxer at that weight class, truthfully. And Katie Taylor is, of course, as well. But she's been around for a while now, and she's a more veteran fighter. But Chantelle Cameron, to me, looked very, very good. The interesting thing, though, is that neither lady has fought since the first fight. So we don't really know what changes have been made, if any. It's in Ireland again. But the reality is that it's essentially kind of a home fight for Chantelle Cameron as well, because she hasn't really had to do that much traveling. It's not like she's coming to fight in the United States or flying from the US to fight in the UK, or from the UK to Saudi Arabia or anything like that. I mean, it's a very short distance. Really, going from England to Ireland in terms of the traveling distance is closer than a lot of travel, distances that you would be experiencing in the United States, really. Even if you were going from, Vegas to being based somewhere in Florida or in New York, like realistically, that's even a bigger trip than England to Ireland. So it's not really, I don't think she has, there will be the fans and stuff, but I don't really see Katie Taylor having that much of an advantage, is what I'm getting at, just based off of the fact that the fight is actually taking place in Ireland. Now, as far as the card itself, I mean, it's good that we have this going on, I think, in a different time zone, because I think realistically, if it was going on at the same time as Demetrius Andrade against David Benavidez, there'd only be one winner as far as which fight was more popular. So I think it's good that this one is taking place at a different time. And for everybody watching in the UK, of course, they're going to be in for a long night, because that card is going to be ending, gosh, what time? I mean, I'm expecting the main event of Benavidez against Andrade is probably going to be going on about 1 o'clock in the morning. So what time is that going to be in the UK? The Eastern time, 1 a.m. So probably about 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK. So it's going to be a late night. But in fairness, I mean, Actually, no, that's not true because with the card starting at 8, probably the main event starts around 11 Eastern, which is earlier. I'm thinking in my head it starts at 10, which a lot of the Vegas cards start at 10 o'clock on the East Coast. But no, actually, this one's an 8 o'clock start, so it will be a little bit earlier, which is more manageable, in my opinion. One of the downsides of a lot of the big fights happening in Vegas is that if they are taking place at 10 o'clock at night Vegas time, it's a bit of a late start on the East Coast. But obviously, you guys over in the UK, I don't really have anything to complain about in that regard. Big day of college football as well. I don't know how many of you follow college football, but I was pleased that Ohio State hopefully won't be in the playoff this year again. We need new teams. I know Michigan's not a new team, but I was pleased Ohio State lost. They won't be in the playoff. So good riddance as far as I'm concerned. The O stands for overrated. Don't want to see him. That's my take on it. What do we know about Paddy Donovan? He's meant to be one of the top Irish prospects. I haven't seen a ton of him, to be honest. I know Andy Lee was talking him up quite a bit. It was an impressive knockout. He has a good amateur record. I know that. I can't remember what his exact record is, but it's like 120 wins with 6 losses. Not a lot of losses anyway. So he does have an impressive amateur record. I didn't Eddie Hearn. I'm going to put the sound on. I've got the commentary muted, but I'm going to put the sound on so I can actually hear the interview here. Hopefully you guys can't hear this with the headphones on. This wasn't a world title fight, was it? He's got a belt, but it wasn't like a major world title fight, was it? I don't think so. They called it a world title, but it wasn't a world title. Maybe I misheard. All right. Ten out of 10. I don't know. I'm not saying it was bad, but I feel like, does any fighter ever have a 10 out of 10 performance? I don't know. To me, it depends how you look at it. To me, I don't know if anybody ever has a 10 out of 10. I don't know if that was 10 out of 10. It was good. It looked impressive, but I don't know. Real deal. Vander Holyfield? All right, what's he saying? Alter Ego in the chat. How's it going, Alter Ego? Yes, I did. I placed a parlay. Not a big one. It was $10 on a double. What were the odds? It was the one I put in my poll. So the odds were like 2,240 plus. What were the odds? It was the one I put in my poll. So the odds were like 2,240 plus 2,240. I think it wins $240 if both Benavidez Jr. and Andrade win. Favorite NFL team? Tampa Buccaneers, who are not having a good season this year. But fortunately, the division is so bad, there's still a chance to make the playoffs and host a playoff game. But yeah, not looking so good so far. What belt did he actually win? I'm confused. Is this a regular title, WBA regular title? I didn't realize this was a world title. It's not listed on BoxRec as a world title fight. Right. Well, the commentators thought that was a really good performance. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't necessarily agree with what the commentators are saying. I didn't watch this whole fight. I have to be completely honest. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but they're making it out like it was a really good performance. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Unfortunately, I only caught the end of that one. It was an impressive knockout, though. I'll say that. It was a good-looking knockout. I'm a bit confused if he won a WBA regular title or what exactly that belt was. World title belt. I don't know. We're in an ad break now. 100. Wow. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I have to be honest with Charlo. I mean, I get that he's been supposedly having problems outside of the ring and whatever, and you don't know what people are going through in their personal lives, I guess. But I mean, he's been out of the ring for such a long time, and at the end of the day, he's being paid a lot of money to. I mean, the fact is that if he was in another sport, he would have probably been cut from the team by now for being out of the ring for, if he was off the field for 2 years and he was in the NFL, I don't know. And then he comes in 6 pounds. Effectively, he came in 6.5 pounds overweight because he was supposed to really he should be defending his title at 160, and he's not. And then they have a catch weight, and then he's defending it also against a guy who's Benavidez Jr. normally at 154 pounds, right? So, I mean, he's got all the advantages. He's had all the time to get ready for this fight, and then apparently he also weighed in even heavier for the the second weigh-in. So yeah, I'm truthfully not very impressed. He's a very good fighter, but wasn't impressed by that. Yeah. That's going to be some good winnings though if that actually happens. Yeah, I'm not a huge gambler. My picks are not bad. Like my I don't track them, but like my track record of making picks for the big fights, like off the top of my head, it's pretty good, but I'm not a huge gambler. But this one, I'm having just a small bet on it, just basically to make it a little bit more exciting. And plus, I think you got to put your money where your mouth is sometimes. If I actually had to predict who I think is going to win, I do think Charlo. I still favor Charlo. He is the better fighter, I think, technically. And because the thing with the weight is that it could give him an advantage actually in the sense that he hasn't been really, it seems like he hasn't been really making any effort to actually get in shape for the fight. So if he hasn't, or at least to cut the weight basically, and that means he's not going to be as drained. Potentially, it means he's not going to be low on energy unless he's just had a really bad training camp and he hasn't made an effort. Because when I made my prediction video, I said, in my opinion, the only way Charlo loses, unless he gets hit with something like a lucky shot, is if he just hasn't taken it seriously. But it looks like that might be the case, which is unfortunate. I will say, like, both of the Charlos, they're very, very good fighters. But, I mean, between this one and then the Canelo situation, like, they're going to be looking back on their careers, I think, and missing some of wishing, I think, that they didn't waste some of these opportunities. Maybe not. Maybe they're getting paid well and they don't care. But, yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see a better performance against Canelo. I would have liked to see Jamal actually make weight for this one. But he didn't. He didn't really care either. I mean, he was being pretty obnoxious about it at the weigh-in. He didn't seem to really be bothered about it at all. I mean, he might have been embarrassed on the inside and just didn't want to let it show. But, yeah, it's not very professional. So how many fights have we got between now and the main event. So it looks like there's one more fight then before the main event. Gary Cully against Reese Mold. 10-round lightweight fight. I have to be completely honest. I don't know too much about these guys. So or was this earlier? What is this? Is this from earlier tonight? Do I have a link, Ryan? Unfortunately, I do not. I'm watching the official stream actually for this one. I do actually have a DAZN subscription, even though it's the least good streaming service in my opinion, especially because but the links are available. They are available for sure. I actually had heard that this fight was going to be on pay-per-view, which it's not. But I'm glad it isn't. But I read that it was going to be, and when I saw that, I wasn't really happy because I think this is a good fight, but truthfully, I don't think the card is deep enough for it to be a pay-per-view event. And truthfully, I don't think the main event, like the main event's interesting, but I'll be honest, I wouldn't be paying pay-per-view prices for it. That's just my opinion. Especially when there's only one fight on the card that I'm like super interested in. All right, what's going on here? Reese Mold against Gary Cully. So Reese Mold, 18-1 from the UK, from Doncaster. And Gary Cully is 16-1 from Ireland. 6'2". Wow. He's really tall for the weight. According to BoxRec, he's listed at 6'2" at 135. That can't be right, can it? I'll be honest, I've never seen the guy. I don't think I have. Anyway, I'm going to let's see when he comes out. But Mold's listed at 5'7". Mold is listed at 5'7". Is he really 6'2" at 135? I can't imagine that. I mean, there are some tall fighters in the lower weight classes, but like, I think that would be pretty brutal weight cut if that is how much he actually weighs. I thought that was Conor McGregor for a second. This is the same song that Sinead O'Connor performed for Conor McGregor in the UFC. I think she did it several times. I think it's the same one anyway. Yeah, it's the same one. Ed Sheeran. He's very popular, sounds like. I'm not sure about the pink, though. It's not very Irish. So, Gary Cully against Reese Mold. At 135, 10 rounds. Well, let's see what happens here. It's always interesting watching a fight when you don't really know like much about the two fighters involved, just because you don't go in with any preconceptions. And sometimes if a guy is supposed to be really good, but you can sometimes spot mistakes that he's making, or sometimes a guy is really underrated. The commentators aren't, giving him the credit that he deserves. So sometimes it's interesting to watch. I do watch, so I've got the commentary on now, so I can hear what they're saying, but I will be muting the actual commentary for the fight itself. I never watch fights with the commentary on, or at least I very rarely do. Excuse me, just having a drink of the Powerade here. Powerade Zero is the best one, in my opinion. I prefer it to Gatorade. Let me know if you disagree. Okay. 6'2". Oh, he does look tall. All right. We're just doing the ring and announcements of both fighters in the ring now. I don't know if some of you are watching this who don't actually have the fight up, so I'll try and update on what's actually happening. I'm gonna score the fight myself as I go along, just so I can kind of have a rough sense of how it's going. Fix the webcam here. So 10 rounds. Oh, okay, so it's just one of the WBA trinket belts. Okay. Gary Cully. Reese Mold. Six KOs. Doncaster, England. When did he lose? Oh, he lost to Lee Wood. Okay. Reese Mold. Okay. So this is scheduled for 10. Wow. He's got a lot of tattoos. All right. Naas, Ireland. He's got a big chair. Gary Cully. He looks very popular. Let's see here. All right, the referee is calling them to the center of the ring. I'm not going to do play-by-play on the actual rounds themselves. I'm just going to sort of give my thoughts on it as it goes along, but I'm not going to actually try and play-by-play the fight. All right. So I'm going to mute the actual commentators now. Let me know in the chat if they say anything particularly exciting or worth commenting on. I know some people probably enjoy the commentary. It's nothing against the commentators themselves. I just prefer being able to make my own assessment, I guess, of what's going on. And then that way, like, I might be wrong. A lot of the times I'm right and a lot of the times I'm wrong, but I like to at least kind of make up my own mind on it and not just be influenced by what the commentators are saying. And sometimes I agree with them and sometimes I don't, but it's just after years of watching boxing, I just prefer doing it this way. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So Cully is in the pink, Mold is in the white, but looking at them in the ring, Cully is the southpaw. He's taller. He looks like he's got longer arms, but it doesn't look to me that he's actually 6'2". If Mold is 5'7", unless he has a very, very low stance, he's kind of, I mean, he does look tall, but I don't know if he's 6'2". But he is taller. I mean, he should be able to control the range with the jab. Mold is not being able to get on the inside much. There's not really a lot of punches landing at this point. Mold trying to get over the top. Not a lot landing. I mean, it looks like it's Cully round so far. The problem that Mold is going to have is that Cully has significantly longer arms, in addition to being a southpaw. The problem is as well, like, this is just my opinion, but unless you're a really, really slick fighter, you need to actually be able to offer some kind of an offensive threat. You can't just sit on the outside and try and pick one or two shots unless you're super slick, super accurate, or you've got some kind of power. So right now, Mold, to me, he's just sitting on the outside and trying to pick a chance to get to the inside, but he's not really, he just doesn't have the arm length basically to do this. So he needs to commit to try and get onto the inside. This is only the first round, but he needs to commit to getting underneath of Cully's jab and going to the inside, because throwing these big looping hooks over the top, yeah, he almost got pushed over there. Unless he gets lucky and lands something, it's just going to put him out of position. I don't like that approach. I think he needs to try and get on the inside against Cully. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I might be completely wrong. He might knock Cully out with one of these hooks over the top, over top of the jab. But I don't know. To me, if you're the shorter guy, you need to get on the inside, because the taller fighter, his arms are going to be generating more power if he can actually wind them up. So to me, that's a Gary Cully round. I'm going to give that 10-9 to Gary Cully. I'm going to be writing these notes down as I go along. Yeah, to me, that's a 10-9 round for Cully. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. On my stream, there is an ad break between the rounds. I have to say, like, as someone who really enjoys watching the coaches, like, I enjoy studying the trainers, the coaches, whatever, almost as much as the fighters themselves, maybe even more so in some respects. So to me, like, it's really interesting. I always like to see what's going on in the corner. On my stream, there's an ad right now. But yeah, two of my sort of pet peeves are when they don't show the corner at all, or when we can't hear what they're actually saying. But yeah, that was to me, that was a Gary Cully round for sure. All right, round two just getting underway. And again, Mold's trying to go over the top with those big swinging shots. I mean, like, he might land something, but I think he needs to try and get underneath the jab and actually commit to coming onto the inside. Let's see what he does here. But Cully has those long arms. He's keeping that left hand very close to his chin as well, so it's going to be hard to hit him that way. But he looks very rigid to me, Cully, as well. So I do think if Mold can apply pressure and actually get on the inside, I think that he can possibly do some. Yeah. See, there he goes. That's what he needs to do more. I'm not rooting for either guy in this fight, by the way. So if it sounds like I'm cheering for a particular guy, I'm not rooting for either one of them. I'm just kind of calling the fight as it goes. But yeah, the jab is the best punch so far for Cully. They're not all connecting. And it looked like some body shots connected there from Mold, actually. My stream is a little bit blurry, I have to be honest. So if there's some particularly close shots that I miss, I apologize. It's kind of hard to see exactly whether some of the punches land or not on my stream at the moment. Hopefully it will clear up. I think it's my internet connection, truthfully. But yeah, so far to me, Cully looks like he's in control. He's gotten hit a couple of times, but I'm still looking at this as a Cully round, in my opinion, so far. But we still got a minute to go. Didn't look like that punch connected from Mold. Cully looks like he's kind of tapping with his punches a little bit, though. Like, it doesn't look like he's got a ton of weight behind his jab. His hands are relatively fast, but he's not really looking like there's a tremendous amount of spike behind his punches. It looks like Mold is actually the heavier puncher between the two, which it makes sense actually, because he's more compact and he's more muscular at the weight, whereas Cully's a lot more skinny because he's had to drain himself really, really far down. I mean, if you look at his frame, especially Cully's legs, they're very, very thin. Actually, Mold has the bigger legs, which is going to help him, I think, absorb some of the shots. So in terms of like the physique of both of the fighters, I think Mold actually, with his stronger legs, he should be able to absorb some punches. So I think if he can get on the inside, Cully doesn't look super physically strong. He's been trying to tie him up in the clinches. We're at a commercial break between the rounds, by the way. But I don't know. I think so. I'm scoring that last round to Cully. So I have it the first two rounds to Cully on my scorecard. But I do think that if Mold can get on the inside, he is going to be able to cause some problems, because I think he looks like he's got the heavier shots. And if he can start working the body, I don't know. I think he can cause some problems here. He did land, it looks like, a clean hook on the chin. And then, yeah, they came together and there was some clinching. So it looks like, yeah, we are just about to start round 3. Where are we here? All right, my video quality's improved quite a bit now, so that's good. Yeah, see, this is what Mold needs to do. Get underneath of the jab, start hitting Cully to the body, and don't try and sit on the outside. That's good. I think Mold's starting to get a little bit more confident here. He's actually doing a good job of controlling the range, in the sense that even though he's got the shorter arms, he's keeping his distance, and Cully's not actually hitting him with anything. Yeah, that's good work now. He's getting on the inside, but he's getting tied up. So that's going to be a problem for him. But he needs to keep doing this. He needs to get on the inside, start working the body. And just watch out for that straight right hand from Cully. Yeah, he's actually, Mold with the shorter arms is actually managing to reach the body with the jab when he ducks down underneath Cully. I don't know. I would give this, I think this is a Mold round so far. I think he's actually landed more shots to me. Even though he's been on the back foot, Cully hasn't actually managed to land anything. To me, I'm looking at this as a Mold round. So yeah, he's landing more punches. There's not been a ton of action, but in the 3 exchanges that there's been, Mold has landed the more punches to my eye. You got hit there, though. Now Cully's starting to get backed up a little bit, actually. It was a good combination, a good 1-2 from Cully there. Thing is, though, it doesn't look to me like he carries a tremendous amount of power. I'm going to look between rounds how many knockouts he actually has. But the thing, to my eye, when you're this tall and you're having to cut yourself down to this low of a weight, it is going to have an effect on your strength, honestly. Because I'm 6'4", and I would literally die to get down to, I'm reasonably lean, but getting down to 135 pounds, like I would probably literally die if I got down to that weight. So for sure it would have an effect on his strength. Katie Taylor. So we got Katie Taylor, a shot of Katie Taylor in the dressing room here. I mean, she looks focused, but I think she's such a veteran. I mean, she's such a professional. I don't think you're going to see any kind of flaws from her as far as like not being prepared or anything like that. She's no Jermall Charlo. Let's say that. I will say as well, like one thing that the top women's fighters don't get enough credit for is they are always in shape for these big fights. Like you very rarely hear about the top women's fighters missing weight in the way that you did with Charlo. And I don't think, like, all the athletes are supposed to be professionals, but you don't get enough, like, they don't get enough credit for that, basically. So Gary Cully has 10 KOs in 16. So, okay, so we're starting round 2. So I've actually scored the first 2 rounds to Cully, and I scored that last round to Mold on the basis that he did the better body work on the inside in those exchanges. So I'm just going to have a drink here quickly. Now he hit him on the chin there. I don't know. The way this fight is going so far, it would not surprise me if Mold actually gets a knockdown and maybe even stops Cully here. I know it's early to say that, but he looks stronger to my eye. And it looks like he's actually managing to rock Cully a little bit when he's connecting. To know who's winning this round. It was pretty even so far, I would say. Neither guy's really landing a ton of shots. Cully's landed a few. I'd give it narrowly to Cully, I think, at this point. Okay. Good 1-2 there. Cully's doing a better job, I think, in this round of actually control. Oh, I say that, and then he gets caught. He was up till that point, I think, doing a better job of controlling the distance. He's using his jab effectively. He's actually backing Mold up because Mold doesn't want to fight on the back foot, in my opinion. You can't with the shorter arms because when he's got the shorter arms, he has to reach in and he's on the back foot. It means he can't generate as much, well, hardly any power on his shots because his weight's going to be on his back foot. Now Cully's managing to hit him a bit on the inside as well. I think to me, this is a clear Cully round. There's still a minute to go, but I'm going to go for Cully so far unless something changes quite a bit. Mold landing a couple or one shot there. But yeah, Cully to me has done more in this round to control the fight from the outside. He's landed some more jabs and he's managed to avoid getting hit as much on the inside as he did. Mold's kind of now sitting on the outside and he's rushing in. when he does get inside, he's getting tied up much more effectively than he was in the last round. Good head movement, though, from Mold. We need to see more of that. He needs to move. He needs to get on the inside. He can't be sitting on the back foot. Doesn't want to be backing up. Whenever Mold's coming forward and he's using good movement, then he's able to back Cully up. Whenever he gets put on the back foot, that's when Cully's in control of the fight, in my opinion. But this is going to be a Cully round. So in my scorecard, I've got it now after 4 rounds. I scored rounds 1, 2, and 4 for Cully, and I scored round 3 for Mold. I could see maybe giving one of the other rounds to Molds, but I would say at best it would be a 2-2 at this point. But I've got it 3-1 to Cully after 4. So we got 6 rounds to go. But we're still, in terms of ring introductions and all of that, I'm guessing we're probably still close to an hour from the main event, honestly, at this point. Ryan Garcia next Saturday. It's going to be an interesting one. In Texas. Ryan Garcia is an interesting fighter. He's not my favorite fighter by any means, but he is a big star. There'll be a lot of people watching that fight. I will be watching that one. Be interesting to see how he looks. All right. According to the official stats, Mold's actually landed more punches. I don't know how accurate that is, though. At the end of the day, it's one person watching the fight with a clicker and then actually just doing their best to track it. So it's not completely scientific. But then again, they're there in the arena and I'm not. So it can be harder to tell on TV. But this is good from Mold here. He wants to be coming forward. Not a lot landing there, though. Oh, good shot. Yeah, whenever Mold comes forward, he's actually doing a lot of damage. He's backing Cully up. But Cully's holding his own in this round on the inside, more so than he was in the previous rounds. This round could still go either way. I would give it to Cully narrowly, I would say. A lot of the punches landing on the gloves, though. Nothing landing at the moment. I'd like to see some more lateral movement, rather, from Mold. He's just coming forward too much in a straight line, and he's backing up too much in a straight line. I'd like to see a bit more lateral movement. Cully looks fairly stationary and kind of robotic. He's not a terrible mover. Let me correct that. He's not a terrible mover, but I think if Mold would move laterally a bit more, then it might cause Cully some problems. All right, so I'm going to give that another round for Cully. And we go to a commercial break here. What's going on? Oh, Washington State 7-7. That's interesting. College football scores for you guys if you are interested. If you're not interested, I'm still interested. Alabama up on Auburn 10-7. Interesting. Thought that one would be more one-sided by now. Huh. Still think we're about an hour away from the main event. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. It hasn't been the most exciting fight so far, I got to be honest. So I appreciate you guys. Who's actually going to win the main event? Katie Taylor, Chantelle Cameron. I'm leaning Chantelle Cameron. That's my prediction. I think she's the odd. Well, she is now. She is a very. I think she's the odd. Well, she is now. She is a very slight favorite. With the bookmakers. It's not huge though, which is good because it's a competitive fight, and the last one was very close on the scorecards. Okay, let's see. Round 6. What's going on? Cully's working the jab more effectively here in this round, and he's not. It really comes down, I think, this fight to who's able to be on the front foot more. When either guy has been on the front foot, whoever that's been has been more effective in my eye. I don't think either of these two really want to be on the back foot. Even though Cully's taller, I still think he looks to me more of a come forward pressure fighter, at least in this matchup. That is where he's having his best, most effective moments in the rounds. And the same thing with Mold. He's been causing problems coming forward. Neither guy wants to be on the back foot. And both guys are at a disadvantage when their opponent's pushing them back. Oop. That one looked like it might have been a bit low, but from Mold. See, Mold's looking for his chance to get to the inside, but he's not really moving his feet enough, in my opinion. He's kind of just bobbing up and down on his toes, but he's not actually really moving in and out. He's not really moving in and out. He's not really moving laterally. He's just kind of coming forward or trying to come forward on his tiptoes. And to me, Cully has been able to take advantage of his lack of movement to find his range with the jab. Not all of his punches are getting through, and he has been countered a couple of times. But because Mold is being quite stationary, Cully's been able to pick his shots with his jab. And especially when one guy's keeping the other guy to the outside and he has got the longer arms and he's using the jab. It also, I think, to the judges looks a little bit more like he's in control of the fight. To me, again, I mean, I don't know how you guys are seeing this, but to me, this is another round for Cully. It looked to me like he controlled it better from the outside. It looked like he landed the better punches. Like there probably could be. I've got the commentary off as well, so I don't know how the commentators are seeing this. But I've got this pretty wide to Cully now on the scorecards. We've got 4 rounds left. I'm not necessarily sure that Mold needs a knockout at this point. A knockdown would certainly help, but he needs to start winning some rounds quickly. Cully has an average fight length of 3.5 rounds, but it depends what his level of opposition has been like. If he's been fighting no hopers, then that doesn't mean much. So it depends how good are the guys he's actually been fighting. That statistic doesn't mean anything unless we know what his opposition was like. All right, round 7. All right. I think we're going to get at least one upset today, I will say, in the big fight. So Cameron, Taylor, Benavidez, Charlo, or Benavidez, Andrade. I think at least one of those three we're going to have an upset. I think the most likely upset to me is going to be Andrade beating Benavidez. If that was to happen, I think that would be a big upset to the general public. But I think a lot of you guys, a lot of the smart boxing people out there realize that Andrade is a really dangerous fighter and that this one is actually 50-50. Like, it will be a good result for whoever wins that fight is basically what I'm getting at. If Benavidez wins, then it will be a really impressive win for him because Andrade is very good. And if Andrade wins, then it will be a very impressive win as well. Like, obviously, but Benavidez is a good, like, both guys are good fighters either way, is what I'm getting at with that one. If Charlo loses, I think that would be the most impressive upset because I think he's quite a bit of a better boxer than Jose Jr., in my opinion. All right, what's going on here? I don't know who's winning this round. It's probably Cully still, honestly. He's been pretty dominant on the scorecards, but he hasn't actually been that dominant in the ring, in my opinion. Like, he has been the better fighter of the two, but it's kind of frustrating because if Mold, there's a few things that I think if Mold could just do differently, he could be causing a lot more problems than he is. Even so, like in this round, he is actually managing to hit. It depends, I guess, also how the judges score this because Cully is landing a lot of punches, but a lot of them are also landing on the gloves as well. So it depends what the judges are kind of watching. I don't know, but to me, this is another Cully round overall. He did get hit a couple of times, but I think this is another Cully round. There wasn't really anything massive, any massive shots landed by Mold, even though he did get him up against the ropes at the end. I don't know. To me, that was a Cully round. Even if you gave that one to Mold, I don't know. Mold was celebrating at the end of the round. To me, I still think that was Cully. But if you gave that one to Mold, I wouldn't say it was terrible either. So I kind of put an asterisk next to that round as well. I think you could potentially have scored that one to Mold. Promo for Chantelle Cameron against Katie Taylor. All right, 3 rounds to go. I am rooting for Katie Taylor in the main event. I won't lie, I am, but I think she's the underdog. I'm picking Chantelle Cameron to win, but I am rooting for Katie Taylor. I will see. Oh. I don't know what is going on with this fight, which way it's going to go, but on my scorecard, Cully is winning fairly comfortably. Again, I apologize because my stream keeps kind of dropping in and out of quality. I think it's an issue with my Wi-Fi, but if I'm horribly misjudging it because I can't see if some of the punches are landing, this is not that bad. Sometimes it's absolutely fine quality. Sometimes it's a little bit blurry. But it looks to me like Cully is going to win this one. Unless something significant changes here. But again, it's like I keep saying, if Mold comes forward, he looks good. I don't know. So far, this looks like a round. This round looks like it's more of a Mold round to me. It's a minute left in the round now on my stream, but Mold to me probably just winning this one so far. Cully's managing to land some punches on the gloves, but they're not actually landing clean. At least not to my eye. He missed again there a couple of times, Cully. I mean, Mold's not landing a ton either. It's not like a super high volume. The other thing though is because Cully's throwing more punches, even if they're not all landing, that can sometimes sway the judges. But sometimes they prefer the heavier shots. I don't know. To me, Cully's coming forward as well this round. Or rather, Mold, sorry. Mold is coming forward. Cully is throwing a lot, but they're not all landing. So I am going to give this round to Cully at the moment. We've got 13 seconds left. But I'm going to score this 10-9 to Cully, or rather Mold, sorry. All right. So to me, that was Reese Mold's round, 10-9. So we got 2 rounds left. And, wow, Auburn up on Alabama, 14-10. Interesting. Because if Alabama loses, they're not going to be going to the playoff no matter what happens in the SEC championship game. So we've got this promo for Katie Taylor against Chantelle Cameron now. Apologies, by the way, if you don't get or don't care about the college football references, but Saturdays to me, boxing, but also college football as well. But don't worry, the boxing is taking priority. This fight, the main event, I have to be honest, it's a little bit of a hard sell in the sense that it's based on the skill of the fighters for sure, but neither of them are amazing talkers, or neither of them are super entertaining. I won't lie. It's a little bit hard going at times in terms of the press conference. I think I actually made a video about the kickoff press conference of when it was initially happened. And I said, like, I'm looking forward to the fight itself, but the actual promotion of it is pretty dry and doesn't really do anything for me. But not every fighter is going to be a loudmouth. I guess they're just not. But I think that's also where the promoters have to come in as well and do a better job of building the excitement for this fight. To my eye, the buzz, really for this weekend is Andrade against Benavidez. But I don't think, to me, they've done a good enough job of promoting Katie Taylor against Chantelle Cameron. I know that's not happening in the States, it's happening in Ireland, but it is airing here, and I don't know. I don't think they've done a good enough job promoting it. That's just my opinion. Oh, 2 rounds left now. We've got 1 minute and 50 seconds left in round 9. I need something to get excited about here. It's not been the best fight, not been this amazing performance from either guy, I'll be honest. Not been terrible. It hasn't been the best. Just so, I think. But Mold's actually having his better rounds in the later. Oh, that looked low, but he did get. I think if Daniel Dubois did that, it would have been called a low blow. Let's say that. But Cully shrugs it off. Mold. It looked like he hit Cully quite a bit below the belt. The referee didn't say anything. Cully didn't complain. Fight carries on. Mold still trying to jab to the body. This round could still go either way. I'm edging towards Mold here, but this round could still go either way. Even once he gets to the inside, like Mold doesn't look super tired, but he's not really letting his hands go either. He's not a volume puncher. I have to be honest, with all respect to both guys, I don't think either of these are world championship level fighters at 135 at this point in their careers. Maybe that will change in the future. Maybe they will, make a lot of improvements to their skills, because obviously fighters they're not stuck where they are right now. Like, they can improve a lot. They have their whole careers in front of them. I'm just talking about what I see in the ring right now. I don't see either guy as being a world title level guy at this point. But that's just my opinion and my take on it. Okay. I don't know. I would probably give that round to Mold, which means I was thinking about the main event, honestly, a little bit in that round. So if I called that wrong and it was actually a Cully round, but just to my eye, as I was zoned out just a little bit, I am going to give that one to Reese Mold. So on my scorecard, he's got 3 rounds. And I think on some people's scorecards, I think they're going to have given him the 7th round as well, which my math is terrible, by the way. So I apologize. I always find it strange when the fighters hug before the start of the final round. I don't know. To me, save that for after, especially because this fight is still in the balance here. Both guys can determine. I don't think we're going to see a knockout at this point. I'll say that. Both guys seem pretty, unless it's a one-punch knockout, both guys still seem pretty robust, I think. I don't know if we're going to see a knockout at this point. But both guys are going for it. There's probably more action in this round than there has been in the past. But Cully's he's not landing enough. He's letting his hands go. He's not landing enough. And as the taller guy, he needs to be able to be a bit more accurate, I think. Like, he's throwing fast combinations, but like I said earlier, they're just like pitter-patter tapping punches. They're not actually... He looks like an amateur in there, actually, as far as the way he's throwing his punches. Like, it looks like he's trying to score points rather than actually cause damage with his punches, in the sense that a lot of them are just hitting the gloves, really. So, I don't know, but Mold hasn't landed a lot. A lot of these rounds are kind of hard to score in that sense, because Cully's throwing more volume, but he's probably less accurate. Mold's not throwing a lot of volume, but he's probably actually landing at a higher percentage. I don't know. It's hard to tell who's winning this one. We've got 1 minute and 7 seconds left. I would say for me, it's still in the balance. This last minute is going to determine who wins this round. I could see the judges scoring this round and maybe several of the other rounds to Mold on the basis that he seemed to have more accuracy and maybe just a little bit more power, but it's hard to tell because it doesn't really look like either guy's being beat up too badly. But I could see this round going either way. I could see them scoring it to Cully on the basis that he's controlling it, the range, and throwing the higher volume. And he's throwing... It just kind of looks like he's in control rather most of the round. But then Mold is actually throwing... See, Mold shouldn't really be celebrating, I think, with 15 seconds left. That kind of stuff, to me, it's bad body language. It doesn't look like he actually thinks he's won the fight. Because if he really thinks that he's going to win, he needs to be doing a lot more. If he's coming forward, which is good... I don't know. I think you could score that one either way. I think you could score it to Mold on that round, rather, on the basis of more accuracy. I think you could score it to Cully on the basis of more volume. and just kind of looking like he was in control. I will give that one to Gary Cully. Apologies if I got some of those rounds wrong, guys, but I'm scoring it the best I can as it goes along. Cully, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I scored this one 6 rounds to 4 in favor of Gary Cully. There was not any knockdowns in this fight. So let's see what the judges say. If they score it to mold, I would not necessarily complain about it hugely, because I think that they could potentially have preferred mold's more accuracy. But I don't know. I have to be honest. I didn't find this one the most exciting fight in the world, to be honest with you. But I think Cully won that one. I got it 6 rounds to 4 for Cully. No, I apologize. Sorry. I've actually got that 7 rounds to 3. See, I told you my math is terrible. I've got it 7 rounds to 3 for Cully on my scorecard. So I put an asterisk next to round 7 and probably round 10 as well. I think those are rounds that could have gone either way. But to me, I've scored it 7 to 3 for Cully. I gave mold rounds 3, 8, and 9. Let's have a look here what they say. And then we're going to be on to the main event. Spraying him off with a water bottle. All right, ready for the decision. I don't know if you guys all have access to a stream or not, so I will read out the results from the judges. $97.93 mold. Interesting. Yeah, see, I said it's interesting. See, right away there, you have 97.93 mold, 97.93 Cully, and 96.93. So Cully won by split decision. Gary Cully. Split decision, 97.93 mold, 97.93 Cully, 96.93 Cully. Now, I have to say, I thought it was more convincingly in Cully's favor. But having said that, I don't think you can necessarily take issue with that scorecard for mold as being like wildly off base, just because he was landing, I think, heavier punches in a lot of the rounds, and he was actually more accurate. Probably he didn't throw as much volume, but he was probably more accurate. So yeah, I mean, so I scored at 97. I'm just using the calculator here to cheat and tabulate up my scores, but that was a 97. So what have we got here? Yeah, so my scorecard was 97.93 in favor of Cully, which was the same as the middle judge. Yeah. So let me know, guys, how you scored it if you were scoring this fight. But the Katie Taylor fight. Oh, sorry, guys. Apologies. There's a bunch of comments that I haven't even replied to. Apologies for that. What have we got here? Kingdale Clark. Sorry about the slow replies to these comments, guys. Katie Taylor fight next. Yes, it should be coming up right now, hopefully. I think we're probably going to be about half an hour from the first, or probably about 20 minutes from the first bell after we get the introductions and what have you. Roy Munson to be a major player, but he doesn't have the boxing brain. He leads it with the chin way too much. Did Patty Donovan win? I have big money on him to win. Yes. Yes, Patty Donovan did win. He got a knockout in round 4. No, so I'm not showing Ryan Brady. No, so I'm not actually showing the fight itself. It will just be me commentating over top of it. I don't want to get in trouble for a copyright with YouTube, but I will not be showing the fight. And yes, I will be Roy Munson. I will be rooting for Katie Taylor as well. But yeah, Patty Donovan did win the fight. Patty Donovan did win. Yep, round 4. So congrats for that. Anybody who bet on him, anybody who bet on Gary Cully. And Katie Taylor fight should be next. I don't know. I didn't think this was an amazing fight. Katie has all the tools to win tonight. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, she does have all the tools to win. I think she does. I don't think she will. In my opinion, I think it's going to be Chantelle Cameron. I thought Cameron looked pretty good in the last fight, but I'm rooting for Katie, and I hope she does win. So I hope I'm wrong. Irish fans are very good, especially in the United States as well. If an Irish fighter can be a big success in the United States, they'll be very well supported. And we see that with Connor. What's Eddie saying? I don't think it could have gone either way. I thought Cully won that convincingly. Shout out, Maria. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, Maria. Thank you for watching. Add a TKO bet on for Patty. 600 euros profit. That's about $600, isn't it? That's fantastic. Congratulations. Roy Munson, congratulations. I'll win, I think euro and the dollar is about equal. So I'll win about 230 euros, I think it is, if Benavidez, Jose Benavidez Jr. and Andrade both win. The odds of that, not as good, but I only bet $10 on that one, so I feel like I don't have much to lose. This was a good performance. Gary Cully, I didn't think it was anything like super extraordinary or super exciting, but I thought he did what he had to do to win this fight. He was just being interviewed in the post-fight interview. Ha! Roy Munson. Yeah, I am Irish American. Yes, that's right. Yeah, my family is originally from Donegal, actually. So yeah, I'm cheering for Katie Taylor. Huh, that's funny. Near Dublin. Yeah, I've been to Dublin actually only once though. I've actually only been to Ireland one time, believe it or not. But yeah, I've been to Dublin only once. It was nice though. I did like it. I did like it a lot. So yeah, I am biased towards the Irish fighters. Yes, it is a long way. Tipperary. No, I don't know more specifically. How's it going, Sean? I don't know more specifically than that, unfortunately. I don't know more specifically. I wish I did. Maybe I need to find these things out, but no, I don't know more specifically than that. So now we've got a promo going on for Anthony Joshua against Otto Wallen on December 23rd. All right. I'm guessing we're probably about maybe 10 minutes from the ring walks. Because now they've just finished up this promo with Anthony Joshua. It was a pre-recorded. He wasn't there. But now they're talking to Eddie Hearn and Joseph Parker about the card on December 23rd, the Anthony Joshua and Wilder Parker. It's a big card. It is a big card. So let's get to the main event, though. I don't know. They're talking about Parker and Wilder. I think Wilder wins that one. I think Parker has the skills, but I don't know. I think Wilder will knock him out probably. Now they're interviewing Deontay Wilder. It's another thing. It's a pre-recorded interview. They're asking him why it's not him against Joshua. I mean, honestly, it's both guys' fault, really. At the end of the day, if they wanted the fight that badly, it could happen. It's both guys' fault. The reality is they want a crazy amount of money for the fight, which I guess, if there's somebody's paying them, then good for them. But at the same time, they can't say they really, really want the fight when they could take a few million less and have fought years ago. I mean, Wilder was offered, what was he offered? 80 million. He was offered a lot of millions years ago, and he didn't take the fight then. And it could have happened this Christmas. I mean, they're literally on the same card, so it could have happened. We'll see, I guess. Wilder laughing. See, I don't know about this. Like, I got to be honest. We have got this big fight coming up between arguably, well, certainly not, arguably the best women's fighter in the world is going to be involved in this fight. I mean, you've got Clarissa Shields, you've got a few others, Amanda Serrano, but really, these are two of the very, very top women's fighters in the world. I feel like we should be talking about the main event here. We're about to do the ring walks in a couple of seconds. I feel like we should be talking about the main event. I mean, not Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Like, there's a place for these type of promotions, but I feel like right now we should be talking about the main event, really. It's very loud. See, why are we talking about the production values in the atmosphere in Saudi Arabia when we've got this big crowd in Dublin right now, and we've got this big main event? That's what I was saying with this card, like, or with this main event. I don't think they've given Katie Taylor and Chantelle Cameron enough promotion. I think they have let the promotional side of it is kind of letting them down a bit here. We should be talking about that, not Joseph Parker. I mean, that fight will get its own promotion because there won't be a 5 minutes before Joseph Parker against Wilder talking about. There'll be a 5 minutes before Joseph Parker against Wilder talking about some other fight that's happening weeks later. There's Adam Smith. It's good that he's doing well, that he's recovering from cancer. So that's good. That's good to see. I'm happy for Adam Smith. He has one of the better voices in boxing. Woo. Yeah, Joshua. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, Roy Munson. I appreciate the comments. Sean, I appreciate the sub. Yeah, I'll keep the content coming, of course. Roy Munson, thank you for the sub as well. Cully is too manky crazy. Cully too drained for 135. Yeah, I thought so as well. Just replying to some of your comments, guys. Katie Taylor is very confident, but shows Chantelle Cameron as well. Chantelle Cameron, Adam Smith says she's underrated. I agree. I think she is a bit underrated, actually. I think she's very good. I think she's very good. Wilder KOs Parker within 3. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening, actually. Is there a way to respond directly to these messages, or do I just have to respond to the end? I'm not sure. This is my first time doing the stream, guys, so I apologize if there's here we go. Here's Katie Taylor. She looks in good shape. She looks in good shape. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything less, but she looks pretty ready to go. Chantelle Cameron looks actually quite a bit less she looks less muscular, actually. It's hard to tell from these shots, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe I should separate those bets, actually. I got good odds on them. So yeah, I will be live streaming the next one as well. So we just got some ads going on here in case you're not actually watching the stream. Yeah, Katie, Roy Munson, I agree. Katie looks, She does look more lean in this fight compared to the last one, actually. Katie does look more lean in this one. I agree. Yeah, Wilder against Joshua. I really do not think that is a fight that Joshua should take, in my opinion. I think that's a big mistake. I'm not saying he can't win. I do think he can possibly win, but I don't think he will. I don't think he's gonna. I just don't think Joshua's right mentally at the moment. I don't know what exactly is going on with him. He just doesn't seem like he has the same confidence that he used to. I don't think he is as confident as he used to. I think he overthinks things too much right now. And I think that's really a dangerous situation to be in against Deontay Wilder. I think if he goes in there really stiff, really overthinking it in his own head too much, I think Wilder's going to put him away. And that might be that for AJ's career, I think, if he gets flattened by Wilder. Because that would be a fourth loss, which that in itself is not necessarily the end of the world, but I mean, he's really struggled to get over the Andy Ruiz KO, in my opinion. And so I think if he gets KO'd by Wilder, I think he's going to have even more problems getting over that. It's really going to be a bad situation. I don't think he should take that fight at all. Tackleberry, how goes the fight? So right now, it has not started yet. We are just waiting for ads. There's been a lot of ads. I thought we might have already started the ring walks by now. So it's 5:30 Eastern or 5:28, 5:30 Eastern time right now. At this rate, I think the main event's probably going to actually start closer to 6 o'clock Eastern, which is in about 30 minutes, just because we haven't even started the ring walks yet. So I think each ring walk's probably going to be 5 minutes or more. Introductions, probably a few more interviews and promos going on. I think it's going to be 30 minutes before. Maria Cullen, no. So unfortunately, I will not be showing the fight itself because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube for the copyright. So unfortunately, you will have to look elsewhere for. I'm watching the fight myself and giving my reactions and commentating on it, but I will not be showing it just because I do not want to get kicked off of YouTube. Cameron is really underrated, Sean. Yeah, she is. I agree. Shields' best days behind her. Yeah, she's also been in MMA as well, so we'll see. There's still another promo for just the upcoming schedule on DAZN, so we're still not actually getting to the fight. Yeah, unfortunately, so Kirsty Fleming, you'll have to look for some streams for the fight. It's showing on DAZN if you have DAZN subscription, or there will be other ways to stream it online if you Google those. But I'm actually watching. I do actually have a DAZN subscription, even though I'm annoyed about the fact that they try and make you sign up in order to get the best price. Like you still. I think it's going to be 30 minutes before we're actually hearing the first bell, but let's see. Crowd is really into it, though. It's sold out. Which, to be fair, Shakur Stevenson, when he fought last week, I mean, there were 6,000 people there in an arena that holds 20,000. there was tons and tons of empty seats in Las Vegas to watch Shakur Stevenson. So, like, some of the shows that you get in Ireland, in England, like, they do put the American fans to shame sometimes, truthfully. Like, the American boxing fans don't always show up, fortunately, to watch the fights live. So even some big high-profile fighters like Shakur Stevenson, and I know part of that's because there was the Formula One going on in Vegas at the same time, but here comes Katie. She is, okay, so Katie Taylor, if you're not watching the fight, Katie Taylor is actually walking to the ring now. All right, here we go, guys. Katie Taylor. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I hope everybody's safe after the fight. I saw that some of the stuff that was going on. Hopefully, there won't be any incidents after this that affecting the fans leaving the arena. Now we have Chantelle Cameron. All right. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in as well. We're getting down to the main event. All right, so Katie Taylor is making her walk to the ring right now. We've just seen her walking from the dressing room. I hope she wins. We'll see. She looks focused, though. She'll deserve a lot of credit if she wins this one because Chantelle Cameron's underrated, but she's very, very good. I hope that if Katie Taylor wins this fight, she actually gets the credit that she deserves for what an upset it is, because Chantelle Cameron is a really, really, really good fighter. And I think people know Katie Taylor and more familiar with her name. But if she wins this fight, it's going to be a very, very, very impressive performance because she'll have beat one of the top fighters in the world, maybe even a top 3 fighter in the world, Chantelle Cameron at this point, like really one of the top women's fighters. So it's going to be an impressive performance if she wins. Really a true pioneer in women's boxing, Katie Taylor. This is a good entrance, though. It's cool how the fans are on her side so much. And it does show you don't always have to be an outrageous character. You don't always have to be doing a bunch of crazy stuff and throwing tables at the press conference. Now Chantelle Cameron making her entrance. Yeah, that is true, actually. Katie is a natural lightweight. That is true. Yeah, she is. Katie Taylor is I mean, really, a lot of the big fights in women's boxing wouldn't be happening if Katie Taylor hadn't have been pioneering them. I mean, Eddie Hearn was talking about how when he first met her, he didn't think women's boxing was really going to go anywhere as far as being able to put on these big arena shows, to be honest. And it was Katie Taylor that actually convinced him to give it a chance. At least that's the story that Eddie Hearn tells. But either way, but Chantelle Cameron's very, very good. So this is going to be a close fight. Shows you how popular Katie Taylor actually is as well, that Chantelle won the first fight, is the favorite in this one, but the rematch is still taking place in Ireland. That is, and the crowd, you know, the crowd looks fantastic. I think the crowd is going to be very, very excited if Katie Taylor wins. I hope if it goes to the scorecards as well, that we get a fair decision and we don't get any kind of shenanigans. Because there have been some bad decisions in women's boxing this year. So I hope we get a fair decision in this one if it goes the whole distance. All right, here we go. I didn't even realize that about gangs stuff. Yeah, Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. I mean, really, we should get a rematch of that one, honestly. I would like to see a rematch of that one. And it is true. That's kind of the problem, I think, with this fight, is that Chantelle Cameron, she's not a very big star, truthfully. Nobody really wants to see her that much, like for her personality or anything like that. And so, unfortunately, it means that she's not going to get the credit she deserves, I think, Katie Taylor, that is, if she wins, because I think a lot of people don't really know who Chantelle Cameron is that much. She's a good fighter. If she wasn't as good of a fighter as she is, then she wouldn't really even be in these type of events, I don't think, because nobody really knows who she is. All right. Referee from Puerto Rico. He's had a long journey over to this fight. So apologies for taking over your commentary, guys, but I do know that not all of you watching this stream are actually watching the fight. So I'm trying to balance not talking over the whole official commentary with actually keeping people who are not watching the fight itself aware. So what's going on here is that we are just announcing, David Diamante is just announcing Chantelle Cameron and Katie Taylor. So both of them are in the ring. So we're probably like 1 or 2 minutes away from the actual fight kicking off now. From the start of round 1, they're literally just announcing Katie Taylor. Both fighters are wearing black and gold as well. So they've got the exact same outfits on. Katie Taylor. I'm glad she's a Gymshark athlete as well. Like, I'm glad that a big company has got behind her. That's good. She definitely deserves it. (22-1). The crowd is going nuts for Katie Taylor. The crowd's going nuts. There's Ed Sheeran in the front row as well. I assume he's there to support Katie Taylor, even though he's actually from England, but I don't know for sure, but I assume he must be Irish heritage. Ed Sheeran. Also, just introducing Chantelle Cameron. 18-0. Never lost. That could change tonight. I picked Chantelle Cameron to win this one. I'm rooting for Katie Taylor from England. We will see how it goes. I'm going to score this fight as it goes along as well. Let's go. I don't know what it is about Chantelle Cameron, but I just think she puts people off a little bit with her personality. I'm not quite sure why, but I just don't think people have really warmed to her that much. I don't think they really cheer for her. And I don't think she's particularly well known either, apart from the fact that she beat Katie Taylor. But Katie Taylor's the star here for sure. But Cameron, don't let that, confuse you. Cameron is a very, very good fighter. And I think she deserves to be the favorite in this fight. All right, here we go. Wow, I didn't know that. And he was involved with MTK, with Tyson Fury's management company as well, I believe. Isn't that the case? I did not know that. All right, here we go. So round one is just starting. All right. So I'm muting the actual commentary here. Apologies as well if I'm a bit behind your stream, guys. But here we go. Round one is just underway. Chantelle Cameron is managing to back Katie Taylor up. She's not doing a lot of damage, but she is coming forward. Katie Taylor's on the back foot. My stream is just a little bit laggy, unfortunately, guys. So I'm going to do my best to score these rounds. But if I miss a couple of punches, as I said in the last fight, here and there, I do apologize. But I'm going to be doing my best to score this round. It looks like to me, Chantelle Cameron has landed more punches through the first minute. She's very fast hands, Chantelle Cameron. Katie's not quite being able to reach her. Oh, Katie Taylor's down, but she's not down. She tripped over her own feet. She did get hit with a body shot, and it looked like she'd gone down, but I think she actually tripped over her own feet. But still, that's not a great visual for the judges. But it's not a knockdown. But Chantelle Cameron is going to be encouraged by that now. And they're mixing it up in the clinch. Cameron was hitting on the back of Katie Taylor's head there. The referee kind of warned her a little bit. So Katie's coming forward a little bit more now, but I'm going to have to give that round 10-9 to Chantelle Cameron, even without that knockdown, which was it looked like more of a slip to me on the first viewing. I haven't seen the replay because they've gone to a commercial now instead of showing a replay. But without seeing the replay, it looked to me like Chantelle Cameron didn't actually score a knockdown. She hit Katie Taylor with a body shot. It looked like a jab to the body. And then Katie Taylor, and she tripped over her own feet. It wasn't actually a knockdown. But still, I'm going to give that as a 10-9 round for Chantelle Cameron. Oh, it was a jab to the face, actually. It was a jab. It wasn't a jab to the body. It was actually a jab. It either hit the around her chin or her upper kind of chest around her clavicle area. It looked like. But it's a fast start from Chantelle Cameron. Cameron's on the front foot, but Katie Taylor's got some very fast counters as well. Some clinching going on the inside. Another clinch. The referee separates them, but Katie's looking not too bad in there. She managed to get out of the corner there. It looked like she managed to get off a couple of shots. A minute left in the round. Still, it looks to me like this is going to be another Chantelle Cameron round. I have to be honest. I think she's landed just a little bit more. There's been quite a lot of clinching going on. That's the third clinch when they come together. There hasn't been a lot of inside fighting. It's mostly been, oh, now we've got a bit of an exchange going on. It's the second time Chantelle for hitting on the back of the head. So if she keeps doing that, at some point the referee might deduct a point from her. He's already warned her twice, and she's done it 2 times in the clinches. Now she did it again. She hit her on the back of the head again. The referee didn't say anything, but she did do it. So that was another rabbit punch from Chantelle Cameron. But she's got Katie Taylor in the corner now. I mean, Chantelle Cameron, say what you want about her personality and stuff. It's very, I have to be honest, she trapped Katie Taylor in the corner there, and then my stream kind of cut out for a second. So I didn't see probably the last 5 seconds of the round. I didn't see if Katie Taylor actually made a comeback. So I'm going to score that based on what I saw up to about the last maybe 7-8 seconds of the round. I'm probably going to give that one to Chantelle Cameron as well, just based off of the fact that I thought it looked to me like she landed a few more shots. But I have to be honest, she's rabbit punching quite a lot, and the referee has already warned her twice. So we will see. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Katie's struggling with the reach a little bit. Looks like it's pretty close so far. So again, we're starting the third round with Cameron back. It's hard to sort of tell them apart at times, to be honest, because both ladies are wearing exactly the same black and gold outfits. So if your video quality kind of drops at all, it's a little bit hard to tell them apart sometimes. But Cameron's on the front foot. But Katie Taylor she's countering effectively on the back foot. It's just that she's struggling with the reach a little bit. Like Katie Taylor has very good movement, and now she's actually managing to tee off on Chantelle Cameron. She got out of the corner not by clinching there, but by actually throwing some shots and pivoting to the outside. So that's what she wants to do. If Katie Taylor can keep moving like this, that's what she needs to do. She doesn't, because it is true, Cameron is bigger and probably stronger. She doesn't want to just get held, clinched, and rabbit punched. But she wants to move and pivot. And if she can keep doing that, then she is going to cause some problems here. Now, I think this round still can go either way here. We've got 50 seconds left. to me, it's Katie Taylor's managing to actually stop Cameron clinching so much on the inside. She's actually managing to exchange on the inside more. That's been the biggest difference in this round compared with the first two. In the first two rounds, whenever Cameron got, or rather Taylor got closer, she got tied up. But in this one, she's managing to exchange a little bit more. It's really back and forth. Like, these rounds are very close, which is what you would expect from such a high level fight. But it's very close. I don't know which way I'm going to score that one. I don't know. That's a tricky one. It looks like Cameron's cut as well, because Katie Taylor's got quite a lot of blood on her shoulder. I can't see. Is Chantelle Cameron's cut? Let's see if we can see where that happened. Was that from a class of hit? No. No, it was from a punch. Yeah. So I'm going to give that round to Katie Taylor, actually. I'm going to give that one a 10-9. So I've got it 2-1 for Katie Taylor. But Chantelle Cameron has got a big cut on the top of her forehead. I don't think it's going to be a factor in the fight as far as it being stopped so far, though. It doesn't look bad enough. It's not like anything like that horrible cut that Badu Jack had. If you've ever seen that, look up a picture of that, or maybe don't if you don't want to be grossed out a little bit. It's quite a bad cut. But Chantelle Cameron is cut on the top of her forehead. We'll see if that plays into it. But let's see here. We're about to, yeah, so we're in round 4. Same story. Cameron is backing Katie Taylor up against the ropes, but Katie's doing a good job pivoting and moving out of the way. The referee's, he looks like he's going to warn them now. Is he warning Chantelle? Oh, no. They're having a look at the cut now, actually. I thought he was going to warn Chantelle Cameron for some of the stuff that she's been doing in the clinch. Oh, wow. It's a deep cut. That is a deep cut, actually, if you see it up close. That is a very deep cut. We're still going on. I changed my mind. I do not know if this fight is going to continue. That is a very deep cut. Wow. Okay. So Katie's got to step it up here so that she can actually take advantage of this. And also, if the fight goes to the cards, if it's stopped, she wants to get as many rounds in the bank as possible here. But yeah, Chantelle Cameron, wow, that is a big cut. But Cameron, it's not stopping her. It's not stopping her. Like, it's not, and the other thing is the cut's not actually bleeding that much. But to me, Chantelle Cameron's actually probably winning this round thus far. She managed to land a couple of shots there. But Katie's doing really well, too. I mean, it's a super close fight. Whoever wins this one, both of these ladies are really fantastic fighters. Now, Katie Taylor's got blood, but I think blood on her forehead as well. But I think that's actually off of Chantelle Cameron. I don't think Katie Taylor's cut as well. There's 10 seconds left in the round. Oh, she managed to hit Cameron there. I don't know. I'm going to. It's a tough one, really. I'm going to have to give that last round to Chantelle Cameron. So as much as it pains me to say it, I got Cameron up 3-1 at this point. But that cut is bad. I'm going to tune in and listen to the actual commentators and see what they're saying about this, because that looks bad. But I mean, really, you could score this fight either way, really. Like, I did not know that. I knew that Katie Taylor was based in the U.S. I didn't know if that was the reason. That's terrible. Can I put a bit more life into my commentary? Vincent Burrows. Yeah. So I don't really know. Like, this is my first time doing this, and I don't know if people are actually watching the stream or if I'm talking over top of it too much. I'm kind of trying to balance at this point, actually talking over top of the fight itself versus like allowing people to hear the actual stream. So I'm going to turn away from the chat here and actually return to the round, because we are going on with round 5 here. But yeah, for sure, it can definitely bring some more life into the commentary. It's an exciting fight for sure. I don't want to be talking over top of people if they're listening to the live commentary. Ooh, bunch of clean shots to the head there, landing from Katie. The crowd is really loving it. I've actually turned the sound on for this one just so I can hear the crowd. If Katie Taylor wins, the place is going to go nuts, I think. But this is a much better round for Katie Taylor, okay? Especially with that cut as well. It's not a good visual for the judges when one of the fighters is cut. It's not bleeding a lot. But I mean, every time you get a shot of it, every time, like, it's just not a good visual, and Katie Taylor's getting such a good reaction from the crowd as well. But I mean, it's a close fight. It is a close fight. Cameron is doing a good job clinching. I have to give her credit. Like, it's a little bit dirty on the inside, but she is doing an effective job of actually being able to shut Katie Taylor down on the inside. My stream is lagging here, guys. I do apologize. But Katie is getting backed up against the ropes. Chantelle Cameron is backing her up against the ropes now. She's got 10 seconds left in the round, and Katie is trapped up against her. She's not in big trouble. It's not like she's getting totally unloaded on. But I think this is going to be another Cameron round, unfortunately. Yeah. So we're through 5 rounds. I have scored it. Yeah, Cameron is winning this fight, unfortunately, for me, because I was rooting for Katie Taylor. I didn't bet any money on it or anything, but I was rooting for Katie Taylor. I still am. But yeah. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, doing this one for me. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't particularly like the DAZN commentary. Like, it's nothing against the people doing it personally, but it's to the point where I'm paying money for a subscription service that I actually mute the commentary during the fight. Like, okay, so here's Barry Jones's scorecard on the screen. He scored at 49-46 for Chantelle Cameron. I have to be completely honest and say that I've also scored at 4-1 for Chantelle Cameron at this point. But the rounds are very, very close. So for those of you asking in the chat if Chantelle Cameron is dominating the fight, no, Katie Taylor is doing well. The rounds are close. And actually in this one, there's no referee's broken them apart now, but there was a good exchange going on. Like, the issue basically is that Chantelle Cameron is backing Katie Taylor up against the ropes. She's trying to walk her down. Katie Taylor is struggling to find her range a little bit, but when she's actually able to counter, she's landing a lot of shots herself. And Chantelle Cameron has a big, big cut on her forehead. Like, it's a big cut. And there is probably a real chance that the fight gets stopped if it keeps going like this, just because of how deep that cut is. But the problem is that Chantelle Cameron's so far ahead on the scorecards that if I'm correct and this fight goes to a decision, but it doesn't actually finish because it gets stopped for the cut, then that's going to give, I think, Chantelle Cameron, unfortunately, a big advantage. So Katie Taylor's got to step on the gas a little bit here and try and get these rounds going her way before this fight potentially gets stopped. But each of the rounds has been super close. And I think if you were to score some of these to Katie Taylor, and honestly as well, because it's in her home country, because the crowd is reacting to her so well, I do think there's a good chance that some of these rounds, some of these close rounds, the judges might be giving her the benefit of the doubt. And also just because with the way the crowd is reacting to her, it's going to make the judges, I think, respond more positively to her work. But I mean, both fighters are doing everything they can to win this fight. Chantelle Cameron's using her elbow actually quite a lot, I have to say, on the inside. Like, because she's stronger, now Taylor's managed to actually hit her clean. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I think everyone has this fight going different ways. How do you guys have it in the comments? But to me, I still have Chantelle Cameron in control of this fight on the scorecards. I know Barry Jones had it heavily in favor of Chantelle Cameron, I do believe, unless I misread it and he said it was in favor of Katie Taylor, but I don't think so. So I don't know what the commentators are saying on the DAZN broadcast, but to me, Chantelle Cameron is on the way to a points decision at this point. But I mean, Katie Taylor, she is doing well on the exchanges. So honestly, you could be scoring these rounds either way. Like, I honestly don't know which way this is going to go on the scorecards. I think the official scores are going to be a lot closer maybe than I have this one. Katie Taylor up 3-2 now. Not able to watch the stream. Olivia, appreciate the commentary. Frankie, appreciate the commentary. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching. Yeah. Honestly, the thing that I've noticed with this fight is you have everybody seems to be scoring it different ways. The DAZN score has it, I think, heavily in favor of Chantelle Cameron. I'm scoring it for Cameron. Other people are scoring it for Taylor. It's just because all the rounds are really close. All the rounds are really close. Apology, guys. My lighting has actually died here. I'm just going to leave that for the moment and just focus on the fight. So apologies if you guys can't see me so well anymore. My background light just died, unfortunately, but I'm just going to keep going because the fight is too exciting. I don't want to stop and mess around with that and miss it now that we're in round 7.